So, yeah, I'm a fully carnivorous person who spent an entire month of my life not eating meat. After the intro, I'll tell you all about it. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Trey, and I'm doing Self Improvement Sunday. And today I just kind of wanted to talk about my experience with vegetarianism. So let me put this out here from the very beginning. I'm not trying to convert you. I don't care what you eat. If there's one thing I've learned is that people can be a little bit sensitive about the subject of diet, as in what they eat and what they don't eat. You know, I've known more than a few people who clinch up and get angry and defensive anytime they hear the word vegetarian. And that is one of my main takeaways from when I did the 30 days of no meat, was that it made a lot more people uncomfortable than I had expected. Like, when I did this with my wife several years ago, and we were asking for zero accommodations from friends and family. Of course, like restaurants and stuff would have to accommodate us, but that's their job. We weren't asking anyone to not eat meat in front of us. As to the best of my knowledge, nobody cooked for us, so that we didn't have to have them modify their meal plans for us either. So this just totally only affected us, but several people were like obviously bothered by the fact that we were doing an experiment basically. And that's what it was. It was, for me, it was more of an experiment than anything. I like, especially now that I'm doing this vlog about self-improvement, I do like to try things out so that I can give people a real honest critique on the subject at hand. Not just regurgitating information that you're reading on blogs and hearing people say on YouTube and on Facebook. I mean, if I'm going to talk to you on Self Improvement Sunday, I'm going to talk to you about something that I actually have experience with. So that's all it was. Like I said, it was an experiment. I wanted to know how hard it was to give up meat, and I wanted to know what kind of effects it would have on me. Because I read all sorts of crazy things, like after a few days, you won't even miss it. And you won't want to go back after 30 days. Spoiler alert, I did go back, and it was quite easy. But I was hearing that it would improve my mental clarity, that it would make me more athletic, it would give me more energy, and I didn't notice any discernible effects on my energy level. If it did, it went up slightly. It didn't go down. I didn't get weak, I didn't turn into a little soy boy or anything like that. Maybe that happens at the 2 month mark, but it didn't happen to me at the 1 month mark. At any rate, nothing like that. No obvious effects on my, health. One thing I did notice was that it was easier to not eat meat than I thought it would be, like from a practical standpoint. Um, Nowadays, basically any restaurant can accommodate vegetarian requests. Other requests might be another thing, but vegetarian, yeah, you can get that pretty much anywhere. I noticed that meat accounts for very little of the flavor in most foods. I learned that meat probably really doesn't have to be consumed every day. It doesn't have to be part of your daily diet. And I mean, if you think about it evolutionary wise, people didn't really eat meat every day. It was more of a special occasion type of thing, or more of a, we just killed a woolly mammoth, so we're going to eat meat for a few days, and then we'll see what happens after that. That was sort of the story of human evolution. But yeah, modern diet probably doesn't need meat every day. And I know that that makes some people uncomfortable. And I'm not saying you should stop eating meat every day. You do you, homie. If you get to the point where you're considering cutting back on meat, let that be your decision. I'm not trying to influence you, but, it is a fact that on paper, Americans eat too much meat, or at least the way they eat meat has a detrimental effect on the environment. It is not very energy efficient to eat meat as opposed to other more renewable sources of nourishment. That's a simple fact. It's something to keep in mind. And ideally, I would probably eat meat a few times a week. And, full disclosure, I eat it pretty much every day. So I ain't preaching here. I'm just, speaking hypothetically. Most of all, though, I learned that, and, exercise in self deprivation, to, I learned that doing that can be a great thing. Like the first time, at least once a year, I try to give up caffeine. At least once a year, preferably every, several months or so. Like just my personality type, I have to keep myself in check with stimulants because if I don't, it'll get bad. So every once in a while, I'll just give up caffeine. But I remember the very first time I did it, I I was not used to this form of self deprivation. I was past the drive through window, I was down the road, and I had already drank like half of my Coke before I realized what I had done. Like, it's all muscle memory. You get into a state of flow over these habits, and it takes willpower to even get the ball rolling on getting better. It takes baby steps at first. And that was one thing I learned, by doing vegetarianism for 30 days, is that if I can do this, I can do pretty much any experiment that I want to. The sky's the limit. I never thought I'd be able to give up meat for a month, and it was really not that hard at all. So that's what I took away from it. So just to summarize, my takeaway from 30 days of no meat is that it's a subject that makes people uncomfortable, but it's a subject that we need to be talking about. And like I said, I'm on team meat. I'm not. And by the way, I hate PETA. I would never in a million years advocate for PETA. So they can just. So PETA can just go away. This ain't what it's about. You know. And I've learned that life is worth an experiment every once in a while. Throw a monkey wrench into your routine. Shake things up. See what's working for you and what's not working. You owe it to yourself and to your loved ones to be the best possible version of yourself that you can be. So, what is 30 days or 14 days or 1 week out of your life just as an experiment? Are you afraid that you can't do it? Because if I can do it, you can do it. But that's besides the point. Food for thought, no pun intended. At any rate, that'll do it for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Check back all the time for brand new content. Take care, everyone.